Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning from Massachusetts. I'm Jennifer from English with Jennifer. It is a little after 9 o'clock here on May 2nd, and I'm hoping that people can join me for at least 30 minutes of live study together. I'm going to check my laptop to make sure that we're good to go. But if you can hear me well and see me well, please let me know in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. It looks like we're good to go. I see Ruslan was one of the first people here. Thank you for being here. Abdelaziz Mustafa, hey there. Glad you're here as well. Happy to see you guys. How are you doing today? Good morning, and I know some of you, it's later in the day, so good afternoon and good evening to you as well. I hope the day is starting out well. I hope May is starting out well. You know, every time there's a new start to a month, I try to be excited about something that's going to happen this month, right? Is there something that you're looking forward to? And if you can't think immediately about what you can be excited about, you can start with what you have right now. I'll tell you one thing I'm grateful for is we just got a new roof on the house. It was crazy that day with all the hammering. I am grateful that nothing broke in the house except for one tiny little light fixture, but that's okay. And I'm so grateful that nobody fell off the roof. I'm always scared when I see roofers high up on roofs. I always worry, especially if I don't see ropes. Like safety features holding them in place. So I'm grateful that nobody fell or got hurt on the job. So I'm grateful that I got a new roof, no one got hurt, and there was minimal damage inside the house. So maybe you can let me know. Let's start there. What are we grateful for? Can you tell me one thing that makes you happy this week? Mohammed, I see you're here from Saudi Arabia. Glad to have you here. And from Egypt. Oh, it's so small, it's not even Google Maps. Well, you represent it very well. Manuel is here from the middle of nowhere. I'm sure you're somewhere, Manuel. Somewhere in a beautiful place in Europe, right? From Ukraine, welcome, welcome, Ruslan. So happy you're here. Surprise, you always have the most interesting questions. The currency. Oh my gosh, okay, that's a quick challenge for me. A penny is 1 cent, a nickel is 5 cents, a dime is 10 cents, a quarter is 25 cents. We do have other like dollar pieces. I think there might be a 50-cent piece. These are not really in circulation, right? Vitali is here. Hi there. And Manuel. Come on, guys. Someone else join me. What's one thing that made you happy or at least grateful this week? I told you I got a new roof a day or two ago, 2 days ago, and I'm happy that I have a new roof and no one got hurt putting the new roof on, and I'm happy there was minimal damage. Just a small plastic light fixture fell off while they were hammering all throughout the day. So I took all the not all, I took the most important pictures and plaques off the walls because I was forewarned that with all the banging on the roof, things could fall off and get broken. So I took care of that, but I did not expect the light fixture to fall off. But that's minimal. It's okay. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Abdelaziz. Well, yes, and I'm grateful that you're here with me too. That makes me happy. Oh my goodness, you're going to challenge me. Is it Yaksiye Hassan? I'm sorry if I didn't say that correctly, but welcome and thank you for being here. Okay, so think about that. Anyone watching the recording, I'd love to know something that makes you grateful, right? What are you happy that has happened recently? Okay. Something that I'm looking forward to in May, I guess, is what else would I be looking forward to? My son is coming home, right? He is in his second year in college, and his final exams will take place this month. And after those exams, he'll come back home. So I'll have both kids home with me again. So that's something I'm looking forward to. If you'd like to tell me one thing that you're looking forward to in the month of May, I'd love to know. right? Surprise, I know your interesting questions keep coming, but if there's time, I'll answer more. You got the coin currency answers from me. Alan, hi there. Glad that you're joining me today. So we have about 30 minutes together, guys, and the topic is going to be about having awareness of register. When we talk and when we communicate, it's not just about choosing words to make our ideas clear and using correct grammar to make our messages accurate. It's also about choosing words and structures and our tone to make sure it's appropriate for the situation. Who are we talking to? What is the situation? Think about like how even we greet people, right? You know, like there's hi and hello, and there is a basic difference, right? And how you might greet, let's say, some head of state, if we ever had the chance to greet a prime minister or a president, you wouldn't say like, hey, how's it going, right? That would not be appropriate. You can say it very naturally with wonderful pronunciation. You could do all the linking and the correct intonation. But, you know, if you're meeting the prime minister or whoever leads your country, you wouldn't say, hey, how's it going? It's just not appropriate. It's too informal. It's too casual. And register isn't just about formal, informal. As I understand it, it's really just, it's about matching your language to the situation, right? How you might speak in a meeting, that's formal, but how I speak again, if I'm giving a speech, is also slightly different. So register is about matching our language to the situation. There are a lot of different elements, so we'll just touch on a little bit today, okay? Oh, thank you for confirming. My connection is fine. Hey, Julia's here. Hi, Julia from Myanmar. Always glad to have you here. Okay, checking the audio. Okay. All right. So the first task I'm going to give you, and actually, I think I'm going to jump over here. Let me see if I can do this. I think I can. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because I know usually among you, there are some people who also teach English, and I'm always very happy to have other teachers with me. And I want those who teach to be aware of where I share ideas and tips and other things that could be of value to you when you prepare your own lessons. So let me share my webcam and my screen, work my little magic here, and see if you see what I see. Let me see. Is that... Okay, that does it, right? Did that work? I'm going to check my laptop to make sure I did this correctly. For some reason, I'm feeling out of practice in switching scenes. There we go. Okay, so just FYI for your information, what you're looking at right now is my WordPress blog. This is not my website for learners. This is my blog for teachers. As you see, blog for teachers. And something I've been doing lately is sharing the highlights and summaries from the TESOL convention. TESOL is our annual teachers convention, and I try to attend every year. So this past March, yes, I went to Long Beach, California, and you can see these highlights are from sessions that I attended. And what you'll see today in one of our activities is something that was inspired by this man, Colin Ward. So I'll give him a shout out. I really enjoyed how he presented vocabulary through genre. He teaches in Texas. So again, teachers, if you want to visit my blog and check out ideas that I learn and that I'm trying to apply and I want to pass along to other teachers, then please visit. Okay? All right, so now let me see if I can put this on the screen for you. Okay? And I'm going to check my laptop again to make sure that you see what I need you to see. What is today's lesson about, Alan? Register, right? Matching our language to the situation, remembering who we're talking to or writing to, okay, or writing for. Okay, I think you can see what I see, correct? I can go even bigger. I know some of you are watching on phones. How is that? Manuel, the bread and butter around the work. Wi-Fi. Oh, I mentioned Wi-Fi. Talk about grateful, guys. I am grateful for my roof. I'm grateful for Wi-Fi. I had a technician come this week because I was having serious issues with my Wi-Fi, thinking, oh my gosh, like if I can't teach, if I can't use my Zoom lessons, if I can't do my live stream, then things won't be very good. So I had a technician come out because I had done all the troubleshooting I could on my own. And the technician came, and it turned out there was something with the router or the modem and something that I couldn't possibly have fixed on my own. So now hopefully the Wi-Fi is strong enough for us to have good live streams. Okay. Okay. If you don't understand, ask a question. Say, I'm sorry, I'm not following. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I did post a short video fairly recently on different ways you can say, I don't understand. Please always check every week to see what has been posted. I do post short videos regularly. What you're looking at right now, guys, is a text. I have 3 texts for you right now. And I'm basically writing about the same thing, but I'm addressing different audiences. So again, kind of inspired by my colleague from TESOL, Colin Ward, I prepared 3 texts, and I did not use ChatGPT. I wrote them myself. And I would like you to figure out, who am I writing for? And how do you know that? What is it in this text? What is the language that makes you understand who I'm addressing? Okay, listen. Affordable, easy to use, and helpful. I'd been having some neck and back issues and started seeing a chiropractor who recommended this device. It's definitely not a pillow, as some describe it, because it's hard, but it has the design to position your neck as it should be. Between having regular adjustments with my chiropractor and using this neck and shoulder relaxer for the past couple of months, I'm seeing improvement. Although the instructions say you can use it for up to 10 minutes per session, 30 minutes a day max, my doctor advised me to use it in the morning and evening for 2 to 3 minutes. For less than $20, it's worth trying. Sorry to hear about that outage, Manuel. What is it about this text that helps you understand who I'm writing to? Who am I trying to address with this information? And you think about purpose. Am I trying to sell it to you? Is that my purpose? Am I trying to entertain you? So this is something to keep in mind. I want you just to be aware of whether you're writing or speaking, and especially when you're writing, right? You want to think about what's the purpose of your communication. If you're writing, you write with intention. Any ideas? Affordable, easy to use, and helpful. Where do we read such words? When are such words used? You could also think, does it sound like I'm speaking or writing? Right? I did give you a hint and said I'm writing to. Right? And you can also tell this is not usually how we speak to someone. If I'm talking to Manuel, I'd say, hey, Manuel, this thing I got, it's affordable. Oh, it's really easy to use. It's helpful. I'd at least use it's. I'd make short, simple sentences if I were talking to my friend Manuel. But I used just single words and short phrases. That also tells you something. Vitaly thinks it's somewhat formal. For a friend is what Ruslan suggests. Well, one clue is look at the verb forms, because as soon as you start seeing a lot of contractions everywhere, you know it's not as formal as it could be, right? And this is something I always have to work on in my own writing. I don't always do it consistently, but overall, when you're writing, You want to try to make sure that either you do have contractions throughout or you don't have them throughout, because you choose how formal you want to sound. As soon as we start using contractions, it becomes a bit more conversational in nature, because that's how we talk, right? We use short forms all the time. So it's not a very formal register because there are some contractions. Another clue is look at all the abbreviations. I don't spell out the word minutes. Right? That's another thing that tells you. Max. I don't say maximum, I say max. So abbreviations, contractions, that tells you that it's not as formal as it can be. And I'm not necessarily going to use full sentences all the time either. Okay, I did read the text if you heard it. Abdel, I hope everyone heard me read it clearly. Do you think I'm talking to a friend? Or do you think this is for a wider audience? Think about it. There are lots of places to post texts on the internet. I mean, it could be in a chat, a direct message. It could be online on some kind of website. So if it were a website, what would the platform be? When do we use language like affordable, easy to use, worth trying? And I'm giving you some background information. Although the instructions say you can use it, what instructions? Why am I sharing this information? Vitali says for a wider audience. What do we call it when you share information? You bought a product and you want to share that information and tell people your opinion. What is that? Who knows that? I hope you've written some of these. I'm sure you've read some of these because they're very useful. It looks like a plug. Possibly, right? When you like something and you're going to give it a fairly positive rating, you are promoting it to some degree, right? But you're giving your opinion, and it could either be positive or negative. In this one, it's positive. Blog, possibly. Some people do blogs and do product reviews. So it could be a product review, but I'm thinking more in terms of review, right? Some kind of review, a product review, perhaps, or testimonial, possibly, right? Reviews are very common on sites like Amazon, right? Before you make a purchase, you look at the rating. People who bought it before, did they rate it 3, 4, 5? We try to buy products that are 5-star ratings, or at least 4, 4.5 and higher, something like that. And then we look at the reviews, knowing, of course, that some of them might have been, are they real reviews? Are they fake reviews? Were they purchased? But overall, you do want to read some reviews, especially with images, people who bought it and who are using it and have something to say about it. So a product review is something that's very helpful. You do not have to write it very formally. You can use abbreviations and contractions. I find it very helpful to read what other people write about a product before I buy it. And yes, it does help me make a decision. Hey, my hippo's here. Neck pillows. Neck pillows. Well, this one's a little bit different. This is not a pillow. I actually have it. I'll show it. And just note, this is not a product review, everyone. I'll show what I bought previously. I just want you to see it. This thing. It is not a pillow. It is not a pillow. I'll show it again. Strange looking device. Okay, so now you know that I bought this thing. Some might describe it as a pillow, but I don't say it's a pillow because it's hard. And it's designed, it has the design to position your neck as it should be, okay? And there are instructions that come with the product. So we don't need full sentences. Adjectives are very good when you're writing a review. Describe it for me. What do you think about it? What's your opinion? What adjectives? Can you choose 2, 3 adjectives to describe the product? And you do not have to use a full sentence. Just put them. Actually, people like something like that being the first line, because it makes them quickly understand what your opinion's going to be. And if they don't have the time or desire to read all of the details, they're just going to read the first few descriptions that you include. Okay? You're right, Vitali. I wonder about the online world. So you have to be careful with reviews. Are they paid reviews because someone paid them to say nice things about it, or what? But it helps when you hear what's the reason why this person purchased it. What's their backstory? Were they approached by the company and they were asked to review it, or did they purchase it because they wanted to on their own? So I want you to consider the contrast now. Here's B, okay? Well, here's something that might help. It's called many things: a chiropractor pillow, a neck and shoulder relaxer, a neck stretcher. Cervical traction device is a mouthful. You can get it online for $20 or less. If you can ask your doctor about it first, that might be wise. My chiropractor is the one who recommended it, and he told me to use it in the morning and in the evening for 2 to 3 minutes at a time. I'd say my neck and back issues are better now. I guess it's a combination of this contraption, the adjustments with the chiropractor, and regular exercise. Hope it works if you decide to give it a try. Okay. Somewhat similar in purpose, but do you feel a difference? And if so, what is the difference? Is this just another product review, or could there be something telling you it's different? I'm writing for a different person. The purpose is generally the same, but the audience is probably different. So who am I writing to? Manuel doesn't believe in miraculous devices. Well, when you feel discomfort or pain, you're often willing to try something new, right? A new pillow, a new contraption. Okay. Alicia's here. Hi, Alicia. A hidden ad. Well, yes, okay. The general purpose is the same. It's to say what this product does and that I have a positive opinion. And again, I'm saying this whole live stream is not a paid product placement review, whatever you want to call it. There's no paid product placement. It's just something that I did buy, and I thought, well, that makes a good example of how I can talk about the same thing different ways because I have different audiences. Again, look at the language. We have some contractions again. I decided not to use abbreviations, although I could have. Keep in mind how many times I'm saying you, your. If you decide, give it a try. Even more conversational language like I guess. Right? Instead of per session, which is slightly more formal, I chose at a time. There are slight variations here. Exclamation points. A mouthful, that's also an idiomatic expression saying it's a long, difficult name to say. Not purchase it online, but get it online. This is slightly more informal and conversational. So who might I be addressing? If this is for a wide audience, like a review on Amazon, who might I be writing this to? Yes, they do want to express their opinion about it, my hippo. I'm not sure what you mean by SNS. Manuel got advice to stop smoking. The funny thing was he wasn't smoking. Well, my chiropractor, who I recently started seeing a couple months ago, told me about this device, this contraption, whatever you wish to call it, and I decided to purchase it because I thought, hey, for less than 20, it's worth trying. I can afford 20 to experiment. Okay. Would you say that this is for someone I'm close to or not close to? someone I'm friendly with, or someone that I don't have a close relationship with? Think about that. And why might this come up out of the blue? If I'm friends with Julia, why would I just randomly say, hey, Julia, here's something that might help? What might have been the earlier conversation? What might I know about Julia that would make me want to offer this? Think about that. What's the context? What's the situation that would give rise to this kind of writing? Maybe I'm texting her, but this is quite a long text, but maybe I'm messaging her. Maybe I'm writing email to her. Yes, Vitali. Obviously, with the use of the more informal language, right? I'm being casual and it's conversational. Here I'm thinking of offering a suggestion to a friend, okay? A little bit different. Again, I wouldn't say to my friend, affordable, easy to use, and helpful. It sounds different. I can say to my friend, oh, it's not expensive. It's really easy to use. It helped me a lot. It's different. So the first one was a product review. The second one is a suggestion, because a friend might be saying, oh my gosh, my neck's been killing me. I don't know what to do. Should I buy a new pillow or what? I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Here's something that might help. It's called a lot of things. Chiropractor pillow, a neck and shoulder relaxer, a neck stretcher. Actually, on Amazon, someone calls it a cervical traction device. Okay. And again, I'm telling my friend that she can get it, not purchase it, for $20 or less, right? I guess also very casual, right? Saying, I guess it's a few things that are helping me improve my own situation, and a nice, pleasant wish for my friend. I hope it works. Again, I'm not using a full sentence. I chose to drop the subject, which you can do. Hope it works if you decide to give it a try. Okay? Something I encourage you to do is when we're done with this lesson, come back and scroll back and just, or not scroll back, but go back into the video and just pause the video at A, B, and then our final text C, and really look at the language and feel the difference. Read it aloud and hear how your own reading might change. This one might sound more I don't know, more, not like an advertisement, but it doesn't sound like you're having a conversation with a friend, right? You're just offering information. It's kind of factual. This one has some emotion to it because I care about my friend. I want to help, right? I want to offer something that would be of use to him or to her. Yes, Nadezhda, you got it. You think it's for a friend. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, last challenge then. Listen. What are you willing to spend money on? Shoes, a new phone, concert tickets, an online course, or something else? I am usually willing to buy what I feel is necessary for my health and well-being. Recently, I purchased a cervical traction device. It looks like a headrest and helps align your neck and spine in order to reduce pain and tension in that area. Price is always a factor, and in this case, I found $15.99 to be reasonable for a product that may or may not serve its purpose. Fortunately, I did not waste my money, and I am seeing improvement in my neck and back. Had the cost been significant, I might have hesitated to make the investment. I hope you hear a difference, even as I'm reading. Although these are 3 written texts, as soon as I start reading C, I hope you hear a difference and register, right? Did I become more formal or less formal? Hey, Stunning Lad 1 is here. And think about how I structured it. Remember in text A, I gave short descriptions immediately to tell people what my opinion is of a product. Here, I chose to start with a question. Manuel is a sport expert. Ice and heat. I've been reading about the difference and the benefits of both, Manuel. Maybe I should consult with you, but I'm feeling good today. No pain, I'm happy to say. Okay. Again, with text C, did I just become more formal or less formal? We've been looking at things like contractions, right? In text A and B, we saw contractions. Do you see any here? Up here, I was talking about what you can get. Do I use getting products here or look at the words I chose? No contractions. Thank you, Stunning Lad One. Full sentences. In what situations, those of you who've done academic writing of sorts, do we start with some kind of hook to introduce the topic and engage the reader? And then when do we make final concluding statements? It's definitely more formal, right, Ruslan? Okay. Not necessarily academic, but more formal, right? This is a structured paragraph with an intention to tell people about a recent purchase. And I'm engaging my audience with these questions, right? To make you think, what do you spend money on? And then I tell you what I've spent money on and what considerations I have, for example, price. But my conclusion is that the price was all right, it was reasonable, it wasn't too much, and so I'm happy with my purchase. The language is also very different. I didn't give the multiple names for this device, I just focused on one, the cervical traction device. Right? The language is more formal, the structure is more formal. Right? Again, I'll show this neck pillow one more time so you have an idea what we're talking about. It's strange looking. It's actually hard foam. So it bends a little bit. It's very odd looking, but it's small. It doesn't take up much space. And you basically lie down on it and you can, the instructions say you can lie there for like 10 minutes, but my chiropractor said only 2 to 3 minutes at a time. But I think it's working. So again, C is more formal. Yes, Manuel. Exactly, Manuel. Thank you for pointing that out. Just because something is more formal doesn't mean that it's written better. You can have a very informal text written well, a very conversational tone that's done well. So formal doesn't mean better, right? It's just a different register. So the structure, the intentions, it's always there. No, it should be there no matter who you're addressing. But again, the language that you choose, things like contractions, idioms, abbreviations, they affect the register. And also the way that you sequence the information, then format it. As I said in this one, I started without full sentences, just quick little descriptions because I want people to at least read the first line of my review, right? And then with a friend, I'm stating that I'm going to give this information because my purpose is to help, right? And then here, I'm using questions to engage my audience so that they take interest in what I have to say about spending money on a product. So this one, I'd say it's just a more formal text, almost like essay style. And the fact that there's a hook, like an introduction, there's the detailed support, and then I have some concluding statements, okay? So a very good takeaway from this is to be aware at all times, anytime you write, is to think, who are you writing to? And what is your purpose, right? Contractions are not a bad thing. Contractions are very common and very casual. In fact, if you start using very formal language with a friend, they might be like, this is weird. Like, why are you speaking to me so formally, right? So there's a time and a place for formal language, and there's a time and a place for conversational tones. So choose your language for the situation. Choose your language for your audience. And always remember your purpose. Why are you speaking? Why are you writing? And be very conscious of that. Especially when you're writing, think about the structure that would serve your purpose best. If I want to share information and no one asked me for this information, I need to do some work to get people interested, to catch their attention. So I'm going to ask maybe some questions to hook them, and then I'll have their attention, and then I can start writing some details. Okay? So keep that all in mind. Yes, super. Good takeaways, guys. Okay? All right, so now it is your turn. Okay, let's see if I go like this. I need to go a little bit like that. I want to see if you can still see my text, unless my picture is hiding things. Okay? How's that? Okay, I think that'll work. Can you see everything? Let me try this. Oopsies. Then we'll go back here. How's that? I know what I can do. I'll push this down. Okay, can you see that now? Sanjay's here. Okay, so it is your turn to tell me about something that you recently purchased. Okay? What you see are descriptions that you can use as you tell me about the price, the quality, the ease of use. Is it easy to use or not? And would you recommend it? Yes or no? Okay? What you see in red is negative, right? Price. If something costs an arm and a leg, let me put that there, costs an arm and a leg, meaning like it would really hurt to lose your arm and leg, right? So if something costs an arm and a leg, it means it's very expensive. You could also say it has a big price tag, or it comes with a big price tag. You can also simply say it's overpriced or a waste of money. Some people say a total or a complete waste of money. I would say this one obviously is idiomatic, and this one is also very conversational. You can use big price tag with different audiences, overpriced with different audiences, but the idioms, these ones would make your text or your speech sound more conversational, right? Yes, Stunning Lad 1 made the observation, if you're writing, open with a powerful sentence to grab the reader's attention. So if it's expensive, you might use one of these expressions. If it's not expensive, not cheap, but it's fair, you might say it's a reasonable price. If it's a really good price and you think, oh my gosh, I only paid $5 for it, I bet it's worth $50. What a bargain, right? More conversationally, you can say it's a steal. A real steal. That would be a good product review beginning too. If you feel the price is awesome, you might say a steal, and you might emphasize it with a real steal. A real steal. Okay? A total steal. Poor versus good quality. Flimsy usually suggests that it could fall apart easily. So this is good for anything that you have to assemble. Flimsy, like something that's going to break and it's not strong or sturdy. In contrast, you could have a product that's top quality or top of the line. Maybe it's so, not just in terms of quality, but it's effective. It beats all the competition. You can also say that the product is hands down the best. When there are a number of similar products online and you think that you found the best one, you can say it's better than all the others. It's hands down the best. Okay? Easy to use, Do you know this expression? Another idiom: doesn't take a rocket scientist, right? So, for example, the contraption that I bought, it's very easy to use. You just take it out of the box and lie down. It does not take a rocket scientist to use this contraption. It might take a rocket scientist to design it, but to use it, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Furniture can be very difficult to assemble, or you can put it together in no time. I love when products are easy to assemble, right? Or when they're user-friendly. The opposite, it would be a complete headache, right? Very difficult to assemble. That also I put with idioms. It's idiomatic. Okay, a dime a dozen, dirt cheap. Yes, but if you use dime a dozen, it's so common, it's nothing special. And dirt cheap is good in terms of price, but again, you don't have this thrill of owning something of great quality, right? Because why would you want to buy, for example, really nice jeans that are dirt cheap? I don't know, you almost want to pay a little bit more to feel like you bought something special, right? But yes, dirt cheap really emphasizes a very, very low price. Good ones, Julia. Yes, anything hands down means no one is questioning or arguing against that. So it's hands down the best. Okay? And finally, if you recommend something, you can say thumbs up, right? And that would also be good for a first or final sentence, right? Thumbs up. I love the product. It's top of the line. It's easy to put together in no time, right? And that would be just a short product review. If you feel that it's very effective and you can't live without it, you can call it a lifesaver. A lifesaver, right? It saves your life. Must have, a very common phrase for product reviews. So again, if you're writing something on some place like Amazon, you might say, easy to use, top quality, a must have, right? There's your 2 to 3 descriptions that can start your review. Sometimes you don't feel like writing a whole paragraph. That's fine. So could you at least choose a few adjectives? And you can choose from this chart here. It's a bust means it doesn't work. I don't know if that's only in America, but in American English, when we say it's a bust, means it didn't work. It's like a failure. It doesn't work at all. Like I said, it's a bust. It's a total bust. Don't buy it, right? Totally useless. Totally useless. Affordably priced, I would put at the same level of formality as reasonable. Affordably priced is a very nice way to phrase it. Affordably priced. Very casual in conversation we'd say it's a good price, fair price. But affordably priced sounds a little bit more formal to my ears. Julia has you. If you pay through your nose, you're paying too much. A bust, it's a ripoff. You could also say like this, it's a ripoff. We're taking a phrasal verb and making it a compound noun. I got ripped off, meaning they cheated me. They stole my money. I didn't get any value. I paid, but I received nothing. It's a ripoff, meaning don't buy it. It's a waste of money. Okay? So even if it's just a few words, a phrase or two, or a sentence, feel free right now to tell me about something that you bought recently. Let's see what you can come up with. I told you about this neck pillow. It's not a pillow, it's a contraption. And I've been using it for more than a month now. I started seeing a chiropractor earlier this year, I think February. And I was always nervous about going to a chiropractor. It always scared me that they're like making your bones crack. The adjustment sounded rather scary to me, but I found somebody in town, and a lot of other people I know go to him. And so I find him to be very friendly, and he calms me before we do the adjustments. And now I'm used to the process. But when I first started, I was kind of nervous about twisting my back and my neck and things like that. But it's going well. And between the adjustments and this thing, I feel like I'm definitely in a better place right now. So I'm happy. I don't think it was overpriced at all. I think it was very reasonable. In fact, it was a bargain because I did buy it on sale. I didn't pay the full price. I can't say that it's like top quality, but I'm pleased with the quality. I would call it like a solid product, right? It's durable, it's sturdy, very easy to use. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's a must-have, but thumbs up. Generally thumbs up from me, which means I approve, okay? Unparalleled durability, there's a nice one. Unparalleled means that nothing can compare to it. That's a nice one. Thank you for sharing that. Daylight robbery. Within your budget, yes. I think you could say that this product is within your budget, or for most people, it's within your budget. Everything, most people can afford $15 for something that they'll be using every single day for their health, right? A great deal. I wouldn't put it all together, Manuel, like a great deal price. I would say a great price or a great deal. Stunning Lad One says, I do not recommend purchasing cheap scissors. Yes, you want scissors that are top quality. Don't buy flimsy scissors. You want them to hold together. You want them to be solid. Hassle-free. Oh, you guys are coming up with good expressions. Okay. Feel free to share an actual sentence or phrase of something that you purchased recently. Remember, the channel members here on YouTube are going to be invited to do a follow-up task, and you can already guess what one of your tasks is going to be. I will challenge you to write something, possibly 2 ways, like I did. Not a full paragraph, but even a couple of sentences. What would you say to a friend that you think this could be useful for, and probably a product review? Your language is going to change. Your content and the intent is basically the same, right? You're either recommending it or not, hopefully recommending it, but the way that you write is going to change depending on your audience. Stunning Lad One, sounds like you have a background in marketing. Okay. Have you not bought anything, guys? What have you purchased? What have you purchased in the past 30 to 60 days? Am I the only one who bought something new? I bought this contraption. I bought that. That was new for me. I'm trying to think what else was new for me. Did I buy it? Well, a new roof. That's different. I don't. You don't buy that online. You find a contractor. But yes, a while ago. This is not a paid product review. I was looking for a wireless microphone. The first one I bought, I was generally happy with it, but it didn't work well. So I sent it back, and then I got, they just resent the same product, and now I'm happy with it. And I've recorded with this clip-on microphone. So I thought it was reasonable. The first one was not a total waste of money because I was able to return it and then purchase something. Basically, it was the same product. I think it's very good quality considering the price. It is very easy. It's user-friendly. You really just plug it into your phone, clip on the mic, press a button, and it's work. It's very easy to use. If you do film from your camera, I think an external mic, like a wireless mic, is a must-have because the built-in mic doesn't work as well. So it's better to have an external mic. That's my... And I won't go further than that, otherwise it will look like a product or paid product review. Vitaly, you got a table a few months ago, which set me back quite a bit. That's a good expression, guys. If it sets you back, it means he paid pretty good money, right? It was an investment. It set him back quite a bit, but it turned out, to have been quite an efficient and reliable service. It turned out. You could also just say it turned out to be. You don't have to necessarily shift there. We understand it's in the past because turned is in the past. It turned out to be quite an efficient and reliable service that you're still benefiting from. All the more reason not to shift to that perfect form. Well, I'm glad, even though it sets you back. It's like the roof has definitely set me back, but a roof is an investment, right? So you sometimes understand that you're going to pay through the nose for something, a service or a product or an improvement to your home, and it's going to set you back, but you know ultimately it's something that you must do. It is a must-have, and that you will benefit from that investment, right? Neck support, something to support your neck, sounds like a wise investment. Yes, ask yourself, is it a worthwhile investment or not? You bought spaghetti today. It was a real steal. I'm glad. You don't want to buy poor quality when it comes to food, right? You want decent quality food. So I'm glad that you got good quality pasta. And it sounds like the price was just right, a real steal. Buy two and get one free or something like that. Buy one packet and get the next one 50% off. Okay. Oh, you're getting a new roof too. Enjoy the fun of the pounding. Okay. All right. So please note some of these expressions. Anything that's new to you, note it down, and your challenge is to create examples. That is my top piece of advice. Anytime you see new vocabulary, make sure you understand it. Make sure you've seen it in use. You've heard me use examples with these expressions. Create your own. So anyone watching the recording, take one of these that is new for you, like a ripoff, and give me an example. Like I bought a new mug and it was a total ripoff because as soon as I picked it up, the handle fell off. It was so flimsy. It was a total ripoff. Why did I pay $10 for the new mug, right? And fans too. All right, guys, very good. So again, what have we been talking about? Register. How are we adjusting our language based on the situation and the audience? Informal does not mean bad grammar or bad vocabulary. It's just a register, right? You can be very effective and use a conversational tone. You can be effective and use a formal tone, but you have to be aware of who you're talking to or who you're writing to and choose the language that's appropriate for the situation. When heads of states are making speeches, they should not be speaking super casually and informally. Maybe sometimes they do shift a little that way if they want to sound conversational because they want to connect with whoever is listening to them and make them people feel that they're more connected. They might shift to that more conversational tone at certain moments, but usually they understand their position and they speak more formally because that's appropriate for the situation. So in this case, talking about a product, it depends. Am I writing a review? Am I talking to a friend? It would sound so very weird if I'm on the phone to a friend and I said, it's affordable, easy to use, a must-have, very helpful. It's like, who talks like that to a friend? All the words that I'm saying are accurate, but it's not appropriate. Instead, to my friend, I'd say, oh yeah, I just got this really cool thing. It's like a neck pillow, but it's not a pillow, but it's been helping me. And it was pretty good. It was like a pretty good price. In fact, I'd say it was a bargain because I got it on sale. It's super easy to use, so maybe you can try it, right? Again, choose your language for your audience and for the situation. Okay. What did Julia buy? I bought a traditional dress in excellent quality a few months ago, and the manager marked it down. It marked it down and gave you a 10% discount. Very nice. It looks like you're a wise shopper, a smart shopper who knows how to get the bargains. Very good quality, but a 10% discount. I'm glad you benefited from that. Code shifting, to some degree, yes. I think of code shifting also like dialects. So for example, when I go back to Pittsburgh, there's something called Pittsburghese. Pittsburgh, PA is my hometown. Let me get this off for a second before we share. Oops. So Vitali asked about something called code shifting, matching your language to your audience. Yes, it is very much that, but I also think of code shifting as like when you're able to shift from like dialect to dialect. So my hometown is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and there's something called Pittsburghese. And there's certain vocabulary, even some pronunciation that is very particular to that region, Western Pennsylvania, because I have relatives outside of Pittsburgh. It's Western Pennsylvania. And I might slip back into a little bit of Pittsburghese when I'm with relatives or friends. Instead of, hey, you guys, we say yins, hey, yins, guys, right? That's typical Pittsburghese example. So I know not to use yins outside of Western Pennsylvania. Another situation, I remember being an expat when I lived in Moscow. and I was friends with other expats, and it wasn't uncommon for us to mix English and Russian, and we could do that. But you have to be careful. When I would go back home to the US and be with family, I had to remember I can't mix in Russian. I had to stick to English. So you have to be careful and always remember who your audience is. So that's a bit of code shifting too. And it's not being false, it's just that there are different aspects of you, right? Different parts of your personality too, that will be appropriate to bring forth for a certain audience. That's also a bit of code shifting. We talk about like standard American English, the way that reporters speak on TV, that's their standard American English. Maybe they don't always speak like that. And even right now, I'm trying to speak more carefully so that I'm understood. And that's also an adjustment to my speech. So the awareness is, as a communicator, you want to speak appropriately, always thinking about who you're speaking to and what is appropriate for that audience. That's the big takeaway for today, okay? All right, so now let's come down here. A couple of questions for you. I'm going to put this out of sight so you can remember here what some of those words were. Let's see if you can recall any of the vocabulary we just practiced. Look at that woman. What do you think she bought and why? And is she happy? Can you recall any of the vocabulary we just used? What do you think she bought? Why is she happy? Use your imagination. What do you think is in those bags? What's the expression on her face? In no time would I buy such a... Yes. Manuel's saying, no, we'd never waste our money on something that we immediately identified to be useless, right? Surprise, I see your question. Let's see. Okay. Think of the positive words that we saw. If you need to, scroll back just a little bit. Let your eyes scan that again. Are there any words that you can take? Which ones were positive? Which ones were negative? Choose and come back here again. What do you think she bought and why? Is she happy? She bought something really cheap. And do you remember what Julia gave us with cheap? What was the expression? She bought something dirt cheap. It seems to me that she bought branded items. Branded items, and maybe they were a real steal, right? They were a real steal. She didn't have to pay through the nose, right? Looks like she got a bargain. Because she bought so much, they gave her an amazing discount. She might have picked up a bargain. Yes. You don't have to do both. She might have gotten something on sale, or she got a real bargain. You don't need to combine the two. She might have picked up a bargain. She bought lovely products at a knockdown price. Knockdown price. I think it might be more British. I don't say that, but I understand it in context. Knockdown price. Awesome price. Also, I use that expression, it was a real steal, right? Maybe she got branded items, top of the line products, dirt cheap, again. She found a real steal. She got products that were hands down the best at a very reasonable price. In fact, it was a bargain, right? And she bought some scarves that she considers a must-have. Every lady must have these scarves, for example. Okay. A bargain price. She bought a priceless bag. Yes, and she got a feeling of happiness. Oh, she is on cloud 9 because she got a top-of-the-line designer bag at a really good price. Yeah, I've never spent a lot of money on a bag. I think the most I've ever spent was maybe like $50. But usually I go hunting for a bargain and I'll spend like maybe 20 or 30 on a bag. I can't imagine spending like $1,000 on a bag. She made a real bargain for her friend. Her smile speaks volumes. That's a nice expression. Her smile speaks volumes. I'd say she found a real bargain, Manuel. And he's happy because she has checked her account. And he's in black. Yeah, so she didn't break the bank. There's another expression. She didn't break the bank, right? She didn't spend so much that her bank account is hurting. She didn't break the bank. She got a really good bargain on these items. Oh, a Versace dress. Okay. All right, I think I'll save the other one. Let me just do this. I think, yeah, but we'll have to hold off on that one, guys. We'll wind down, okay? Just FYI, these are topics that came up on Patreon fairly recently, and I'll share them with you. So one, you can benefit, and two, get an idea of the kinds of questions other people are asking. On Patreon, we have advanced learners. They come to office hours, and different questions come up, usually grammar related. We gave attention to these kinds of indefinite pronouns recently. Do you know what the correct answer is? Which one completes this sentence, number one? Again, these are just some small grammar points that we've addressed recently. Perhaps you would be interested too in the answers. If fellow learners are asking these questions, chances are some of you have the same questions. Yes, Manuel, when you're in the black, you are on cloud 9. You don't need the anybody, correct. In standard American English, we don't use double negatives, right? I don't think anybody is home, or I don't think anyone is home. Anybody is a little bit more informal. Anyone is more neutral, right? What's similar to if I had known? If I had known, what is similar? Very good. Must have bag. I see that good example. KHU. She got that must have bag at a bargain price. If I had, which of these is similar? This ties into inversion, right? It's a little bit more formal. We've been talking about register. You need to know which structures are basically the same in meaning, but perhaps they're different in register, right? When we do these inverted conditionals, we drop if and we invert the verb and the subject, it becomes more formal. Had I known, KHU, you got it. Okay. Had I known. If I had known, had I known. Very good. And the last one. I walked quietly down the stairs so that I wouldn't wake everyone up. One of my lifelong learners on Patreon asked me about the difference between so that versus so as to. And again, these are structures that are similar. I would not use so as to in everyday conversation. To my ears, it sounds slightly more formal, but it is possible to rewrite this sentence. We'd have to change it, though. So how would it change? What change happens here? Julia, yes? Had I known? It could work, Manuel. Were I to know, were I to have known, it becomes a little awkward and wordy. I would stick to the had I known as the closest inversion. Okay. In order not to, yes, that's another one. So that, so as to, in order to. They're all very similar. So I wouldn't, that also works. Yes, you could take out that, so I wouldn't. So that's a variation. But if I want to use so as to, I walked quietly down the stairs so as not to wake everyone up. Okay? I walked quietly down the stairs so as to, but if it's negative, so as not to wake everyone up. I don't use this one very often. It sounds more formal to my ears. Okay? If these kinds of questions are of interest to you, and if you have your own kinds of curious grammar questions that you'd love to ask in a group setting live with cameras and mics on, then I invite you to join us on Patreon. We'll be winding down now, but I am going to remind you, my channel members here on YouTube are going to get a follow-up task now on the community tab after this live stream. But then if you really want to go beyond a monthly live stream and get more in-depth practice, more feedback, you want to come on camera with me, have your mic turned on as well, and have full-length Q&A sessions, then there is one place to do that. You also get access to a Q&A board 24/7, and that is on Patreon, guys. So visit Patreon English with Jennifer, and that's where you can get your bi-monthly classes. At 75 minutes, we have 15 minutes extra in there for Q&A if needed. You get pre and post lesson tasks, lots of exclusive materials as soon as you join. And we focus on all skills. You do need to be B2 or higher. If you're following me right now, you are at the appropriate level, okay? You're at the appropriate level if you're following this live stream. You can sign up today if you'd love to join. Our topic, which the lifelong learners chose, is mastering register and tone. We are going more in depth on this topic, so you can enjoy group learning and more independent tasks on Patreon. Okay? All right, guys, I'll be winding down. I thank you for sticking with me the past hour. And I do hope that May is an absolutely wonderful month for you. And do check back every week here on YouTube. I share shorts, right? Short videos. And there will be a new full-length video coming up probably next week. And I'll share that with you. A very special writing challenge that I hope some of you will take on. Okay? Thank you for your participation, guys. Thank you for, oh, you got it, Keiichi. Yes. I see all your wonderful variations there too. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys, wishing you a wonderful May. Take care. Happy studies, all.